So that was a great introduction for the stream. Once again, I forgot that my microphone was muted. I always do that. Not always, but about 50% of the time. But that's okay, because it gave me some time to get some people in the stream, and it was a great warm-up. If anyone remembers The Office, one of my favorite scenes is when I think her name is Pam. She's the secretary, and she lets phone calls in for Michael. And she always says, like, this person's on the line, and then Michael gives some crazy hello greeting to the phone conversation, and then Pam says, okay, they're not on yet, now they're on. So I feel like having it muted gives me a good like warm-up. It's a good practice run. So my name is Dylan, and I'm the creator of this game, Emoji Pop. I stream Monday through Friday. I stream 3 hours in the morning, and then a couple more hours in the afternoon. And so in the morning, we develop the game. We spend 100% of the time working on. Every week we pick a new challenge to tackle for the game. So last week was our first full week of streaming, and we completely redesigned the core UI. And I had a lot of help from Mattman PS2 in the chat to accomplish that, as well as some of my other chatters. So every week we create a new feature, or we upgrade some part of the game, and that's released every Monday, as well as the new Emoji Pop world. So up here we can see our world of levels, and so each one of these is a world. It comes with its own emoji. So this next one's the dagger emoji. We have 10 worlds in the game so far. And so every Monday we also come out with a new world and a new emoji. So we're making these like week-long sprints. Is what we'd call them in production. And I think it's been awesome working with the chat. So whether I'm making for the UI redesign, I was really leaning on them for feedback. And the complaints about the UI actually came from them. So that's why we actually started targeting that. So that's one thing that I love about Emoji Pop, is that it's a game about creation and game design. You can design your own levels, and I can feature them in the game. So if I go back to the home screen, this is down here is where we have trending levels in the game. So they're levels that players have made, and they're being liked a lot, or they're being shared a lot. And so I like to feature the best levels that players have made in the actual game on the home screen, like side by side with the main game itself. And what's cool is when you play a level that someone made, it features their social media. We have to kind of upgrade this pop-up right now. In fact, let's go ahead and do that right now. So we're just going to jump into a task. I'm watching the chat on YouTube and Twitter. We occasionally get feedback from those sources. I've been getting a lot of feedback from Twitter recently, but it's not open yet, so let me just open it. Yeah, we got a viewer on Twitter. So I feel like I get most of my interactions in the mornings, but I think what I'm going to start doing is in the afternoons. Today I want to work on this UI a bit more, so that we're ready to start doing something else tomorrow. But sec. Let me make sure my audio is actually working. Okay. Yeah, so in the afternoons, I think I'd like to start focusing more on level design. So especially once people start making levels more, I'm going to start spending more afternoons dedicated to level design. So what that entails is that I'll design levels in front of the audience and kind of show them how I design levels. Another way to do this is another thing we're going to be doing is, since you can create and share levels, it's so easy. Let me show you. These are all the levels I've made. So I have 317 in my folder right now. You can share them by hitting this share button, and then you can either copy and paste this web link, or you can send it directly to Facebook or Twitter, where anyone in the world with that web link can play it. So let me open up my Twitter account. I'm going to log in on the side here. So the game is about game creation in the sense that you can design these levels, and we're developing a community that's interested in learning game design and stuff. And I'm also incorporating my followers in the development of the game itself. Switch over the sunglasses because got lights in my face literally as I'm programming. It doesn't really make sense. I like to program in the dark usually. Yeah, so is it cool to stream with sunglasses on, or is that just that one guy, Dr. Disrespect or something? Doesn't that guy do that? Maybe like more people will watch if I'm wearing sunglasses on, because like they'll think like, oh, who's this cool guy, right? Okay, yeah, so here's my Twitter page. And so I shared a level recently as a test. Here's one. So here's the level I made. Here's an image of it. I actually made that image myself. And so here's the link to the level. And so I can just click it. And so anyone in the world from any device, as long as they're connected to the internet, they can click that link and they open this level. And without the need to download anything or install anything, without the need to register or log into anything, they can just play your level. Oh, it's in the way. Okay. So this is a great platform for learning game design, especially in the sense that you also get an enormous audience. And so you can create things. My hope is to train like a new wave of game designers, like people interested in becoming level designers. You can actually do that. I used to have a job designing levels all the time. Oh, actually, you didn't even see what I did that. Okay, so let me go back to Twitter. Yeah, so I didn't put it on the screen, but here's you can follow me at L Dylan Woodbury, and I'd love to answer any questions you have. Or I post all my updates there and commentary and stuff. But I shared a level and I wanted feedback from it. So here it is. So click this link, and then anyone from the world, as I said, can play the level. You can do that on Facebook, or you can challenge your friends. Like you can copy and paste the into messaging. And it's really useful because if you wanted to get a job as a level designer for one of these kind of mobile game companies, you could spend a lot of time working on them and learning from me as your bubble shooter, level design tutor, or whatever. And you can share your levels, get feedback, go through that iterative process a bunch, and then you can apply for like a job doing this in the industry. And unlike the other candidates, you will have actual experience making these kinds of games, and maybe they have professionally too. But that's why if you don't have experience, that's why you need an edge. So I would say, it's really hard to get hired your first time in any position. So as a game designer, to kind of set yourself apart from people who might have more experience than you, if as a hobby you made these bubble shooter levels, and you could like share them with your interviewer and explain what you were thinking about, like that's just as good for level design experience as anyone else, even in the industry. So that's why I think this is a really practical tool for aspiring game designers, for young people who want to get into game design but don't want to code. So for example, most game creation tools, like you have to do a bunch of coding or something analogous to that. 1 second. So yeah, for that reason, I think this is a great educational resource for people learning game design. So on YouTube, which I'm also Emoji Popcast, I post regular level design tutorials where I guide players through really specific lessons about level design that often apply all over the place, but really practical things. And my goal is to make a bunch of them that kind of allow you to, with the experience of making levels, of course, to gain mastery. And so if you can gain mastery in a level design space, in any space of game design, you'll find that it carries over into other spaces, and your ability to go that deep, if you do that once, it's going to be easier to do that again, and to understand what kinds of design considerations and players considerations and platform considerations there are out there. So it's a complicated way of saying this is a great educational tool if you're interested in learning game design. 1 second. I'm drinking lots of water. Ugh. My throat. Second. Alright. We're good. So yeah, in the afternoons I want to spend more time on level design, but for right now it makes sense to do game development stuff since there's a lot more games to be made there. And once I have a bigger audience, my hope is then to have these regular level design sessions. So if I have like 10 people who start making levels, then maybe like a couple times a week then we would have these things. If I had 100 people, then we would be doing it every day. So it kind of just depends. And I've been making these games for years, first in the industry and now on my own. So I have a lot of experience giving feedback on these levels and telling you the cool things and the bad things about it. That there's always good and bad, things to work on and things that are perfect that you should explore more. There's always good and bad in levels. It's never, nothing's ever perfect, So let's see. One thing, so we could work on these this UI pop-up for the trending level feature that showcases the designer's social media that made the level. Another thing we need to do is, before we left, I was working on pop-ups. The buttons in the pop-ups, to make sure they press down like this button does. So we were working on getting that functionality in all the pop-ups and stuff. And we also reorganized this a little bit, this section here where it shows the social media buttons and stuff. Maybe I should make some levels. Let's make a level to get started. So we're going to make a ghost level. Let's say it's going to be the first ghost level. Actually, better yet, let's see if we have a ghost world. So whenever I make a new world, there's a world and then there's mini levels within that world, and I have to design all of that. So I have to design a really long world, and then within that I have to design these little challenges that kind of showcase different elements of the game, of the game design space, the level design space. So I'm gonna open my, so I'm going to unlock the next world. And I'm doing that on the side in my database. And so the only thing I have to do now, let me just bring it to the front. So now I have to go into my user info, and I'm going to set my world index to be the latest one. So my world index is now 10, which is actually 11. Enter. And I'm going to delete the bubbles I currently have in my world, and that will, oops. And so that will, when I reload the game, that will, if there's no bubbles in the world, then it will try to reload the bubbles in the current world. So I use that to kind of jump around different worlds. And it also is good in case of a bug. Like if you end up not having bubbles, that doesn't mean there's nothing you can do. Okay, it's cool. Actually, so yeah, this is the new world. So this is the new obstacle. This is the dagger emoji, and the thing about the dagger emoji is that it constantly spins, and so if you hit it, it'll shoot off in a direction and clear a few emojis. But if you, the trick is that it's constantly spinning, so you have to hit it just the right time. And so you see how they also chain together. So you want to decide, when do you want to hit these, or maybe you want to hit this one. If I hit this, it'll hit this, and then it'll hit that one. So let's see. Okay, so that cleared a big chunk. So there's some really interesting choices that are difficult to read. So I think it's a really interesting, unique design space. And this is something that's completely new to the bubble shooter space, in my knowledge. At least the big games, the most popular bubble shooters do not have an obstacle like this. They don't have an obstacle like this because it's skill-based. Corporately made bubble shooters, they try as hard as possible to reduce the level of skill involved in the game, and they exclude all gameplay kind of modes that revolve around skill, because the way they structure their games using a saga map structure, going level by level, they don't they can't have anything skill based, because then non-skilled players would get stuck there and wouldn't be able to progress and would all quit. So they need everything to be chance based as much as possible, or just simple enough to be that to not require a sense of timing or dexterity. So that's why I decided to include it in my game, because my game is structured completely differently. There's no Sega map. Instead, it's a constant world of levels. So right here, we're in a world, and it's a really long level. It's like an enormous level that will probably take you multiple play sessions to complete. Within this world, there are mini levels in the form of these stars scattered in it. And so the point is to get to these stars, and then you get to unlock these mini levels. And if you beat the mini level, you win a bunch of moves that will allow you to keep making progress in the game. So just to show you what I mean, I'm going to give myself... Right now I have 76 moves because I just like to give myself a lot of moves. So let's try it now with 5 moves and see how far we get in this world. So we're kind of playtesting this world. I'm not sure how many levels I've completed. I forget. We completed a world. I'm not sure if it's... We might have to analyze the world and make sure that it's good enough. So I'm going to make this green match and open up the dagger. These little bubbles are bubble wraps, so they pop when you hit them. Okay, so now I want to hit it at the perfect place. Let's see if we can hit the star. Okay, that was awesome. So this star is a mini level. Okay, so I didn't complete the level. This is a stand-in for a level that I'm supposed to make. Unless it's just a really experimental level, we'll have to see. So if you notice, right now I have 3 moves. So just make sure we remember that. Let's play. Okay, so it's a little buggy because obviously I never completed this level. So there's a dagger and there's an emoji. So we need a match of 3 to make a match. Okay, so I guess we won. So we need to make a level for that. So let's just say we won. I tried to make the first level easy enough that I know people will be able to beat it on their first try. It's more of like a teaching level to reinforce the main mechanic of the level, of the new emoji, and also to give them a positive experience. So I want them to have a good win and feel confident in their ability to do this in the future. We're working on all these buttons. We'll have to fix that maybe after we play through this world. I should probably change... Now that we're doing this, I'm gonna go on Twitch and change my name to like a level design thing. I guess it doesn't really matter. Okay, so let's keep going up the world and see what we think of it. And be also in the back of our minds, we have to be thinking of what's a good dagger level to kind of introduce the mechanic and really focus on that, but still be simple, even though it's a complex obstacle, you know? Purple. So at this point, we're at World 11 in the game, so I think it makes sense. Mattman PS2, yo, welcome back. Thanks for the welcome. I'm taking a little break from the game dev. In the afternoons, I'll definitely start spending more time on level design. So what I'm doing is I just started playing through the first Dagger world, and so I am gonna kind of evaluate whether I like the level and thinking of what the level should be within the world. So that's just what I'm doing right now. I really love this world, this level, because all these daggers kind of connect with each other. So if you're smart, you can kind of make them, if you're skilled, you can kind of make them all connect and clear a bunch of stuff. There's also choices. Do I want to hit this one or do I want to hit this other one? Some of them might be better than others, so it's kind of an interesting obstacle that, as I said before, has never been featured in a bubble shooter to my knowledge because it's based in skill. So I'm going to hit this one. Let's see what this will do. Okay, that gives me a good clear. And now we can hit the next star. But I'm going to skip it. Let's just do it. I know it's a stand-in level. Oh, it's not. Okay. So I had this idea for a second level. Let's see what we think of this level. And I'm still implementing those buttons. Okay, so in the second level of each world, so in the first level, I'm going to make a level that kind of introduces this emoji in a clear way that's something everyone can win and reinforces the mechanic and makes them have a positive experience so that they're looking forward to playing with the obstacle more. In the second level, I either show a secondary mechanic if there exists one in the obstacle, or I use this emoji with other emoji obstacles in an interesting way and show you like a different combination using this same mechanic, like a different way of looking at the mechanic. Alright, so I got these two, and it's also good to use other emojis in these levels, because if I just use daggers all the time, and then in each world if I just use that new emoji, then players would quickly forget what these other emojis even do. So these dice right here, they roll to a random color, and they'll make a match if they match afterwards. It's like a chain reaction effect. So I'm gonna hit these and see what happens. So okay, the red lit up. So now we have access to the dagger emoji. So I have a choice right now. I could try to get in it, and it looks like we have a pretty clear shot. The other option would be to make this match and maybe try to clear up a little more room. Let's use the red and let's try to hit it. So when do I want to hit it? I want to hit it when it's facing the bomb. Because if it goes this way, it just kind of clears a bunch of emojis. It wouldn't do me much good. I guess it would clear a little alley, but I think it's better if I hit the emoji on the bomb. So let's try to make it so we hit the bomb. So this is really testing. Oh no! I messed up. So so this is really testing their ability to precisely aim and use timing, because in the previous level, like, they're trying to make the daggers go a certain way, but even if they don't, it still does something good to the player, to help the player. But in this level, if you miss the bomb, that costs you a couple moves maybe. So I see what I was going with for this level. I'm curious if anyone has feedback, but maybe you don't. I'm curious. Wow, 5 moves left. So it's going to be difficult to hit this. I didn't even time it right. So I'm going to play this level again. At least I exposed the bomb. So I lost, but I still feel like I could win. Like next try. 1, so now we can definitely hit the bomb. So I was just like a few moves away. Let's retry it. Because I'm on a streak of 3, I get 3 tries per level. If I lose this level all 3 tries, I go back to a streak of 1, and I only get 1 try per level, which is pretty tough. Alright, I'm gonna make a match and try to hit this die. I'm trying to hit this die. So the dice, you're still getting, you don't need the dice to work out for you in order to get to the dagger, but if you get lucky, then they'll save you like a move and open up the dagger. So I think I like that use of the dice. This level seems kind of simple and kind of weirdly put together. I'm using 3 different emojis very minimally, but I think what it's doing is testing the skill of hitting the dagger at the right time in a good way, and the dice at the beginning is adding a little bit of chance, so that even if that skill is too difficult, you could get lucky with the dice, and that could compensate for your lack of skill. So I'm going to try to hit the bomb. This is a tough shot. I did it. I'm going to hit this blue now, because that definitely opens up that bomb. Okay, so I just have to hit this last bomb. Okay. So this is tricky. Let me see if I can match this die and avoid having to do the bank shot, since I have 2 moves left. Okay, made the match, and now I can easily do this. So this is a tricky level. I'm gonna add 1 move to this level and see how it does. I really liked playing that. It's kind of weird though. Should probably tweet it out and see what people online think, but I liked it. So let's go. Let's add another move to that level. So under challenges, this is world 10. Okay, so this is the last world that we made any levels in. That's good to know. I made a bunch of like levels and worlds at the beginning. It looks like there's another one I made too. Oh, maybe not. And for num moves, we're gonna do. We can either do 11 or 12. Let's do 12 because it'll be harder, but I think it'll give them more time to like practice. It'll give them some room for error, and I think that's good. So 12. I really don't know the skill level of my players, and I know it differentiates. I haven't done analytics yet much. That's something that's on our to-do list for probably pretty soon for one of these weeks. It's not most important though, because there's not too many people playing the game. I didn't track how many people played at launch, but since the first week of launch, I've had 100 new players, which is all just organically by me. Not very much, but I'm not really advertising the game much yet, but I'm starting to try to. So hopefully we can just keep growing. And then hopefully by that point, then we can release it on the app stores. So let's keep playing the world. So far, I'm really liking the world, the design of it, because there's so many big win moments. It feels like a friendly world, and there's like some tough levels in it. Maybe, you know, like I think that's okay. Oh, I should have timed that better. So it's if it was punishing this level, then I never want to make the worlds too punishing, because players legitimately like. It's not like they start a level over. If you mess up a level, you're going to start over. Like, in this world, everything you do gets saved in the database. So if I made this purple here, that gets saved in the database, and now that's part of the game. So if I mess up really, really badly, I could get myself in a horrible situation. I could probably like, use boosters or something to get out of it, but like you don't want to do that. So let's open up a dagger. Feel free on any of these stream chat rooms to give me any feedback about the game or whatever you think about, or any questions about anything. I'm monitoring the chats on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. I logged out of the Twitter accidentally. I'm back in it now. I see there's a couple people on there, a couple people on Twitch. Let's keep going. Can I hit this dagger? Yes. So on the world, if you notice, I show players exactly where the emoji is going to land. But in the star levels, I don't do that. And that's because in the world, I'm trying to be more forgiving. I don't want players to make horrible decisions. I want them to be playing this world. I want to reinforce the skill of playing the game, of the strategy. So if they can see where their emojis landing, they can quickly learn the exact strategy. Since they know exactly where it's going to land, they can be like, oh, it's best to put it here. It's best with that kind of gameplay. But then in the challenges, I take that away, and then I'm kind of testing the player's ability to execute on this skill that I'm showing in the main game. So that's why I did that. Oh my goodness. So I have 5 moves. Okay, that knocked out a bunch of stuff. Still kind of stuck. I'm gonna hit this. Okay. Oh, see, look up here. These ones are spinning much quicker. So, yeah, you can either make them slow or fast in the level editor. You can also set which direction they spin in as well, clockwise or counterclockwise. Alright, so we got a star. This one's a red star, so it's a challenge level. Okay, it's just the second level, but I made it in speed mode. I did that just as like a place. Oh, it's legit just a normal level. Okay. So we don't need to play that. I'm going to remove that from my user element in the database. So the level will be gone when we reload. You can play the game at playemojipop.com. You can make levels, submit them in the chat, or put them on Twitter, and I'd love to play them and feature them in the game and on these streams. I keep talking to my other computer as if there's people like legitimately over there, but the camera's right here. Okay, let's see if we can make this go to the left. Oh, I'm super good. Oh, but I got everything stuck right here with that emoji. So in other supers, if you hit the bomb, if you hit the arrow, I don't know. Never mind. I'm wrong. Okay, let's wedge it in there. Okay, they're spinning really quickly up here. So I like this. Like, it feels like the level is coming to its climax, kind of. I only have one more move. So I wanted to see what happens when you run out of moves, because I was doing the UI update, and I feel like... Okay, it does this. So it's telling us we have an hour to wait before we get another move. So in the meantime, there's other stuff in the game that allows us to get more moves. I had these events, but we took them out of the game for now. We're going to put them back in soon. Or you can play levels that the community's made. Or you can, yeah. You can have other stuff to do while you're waiting. So I'll show you really quickly in the level editor how to use these. So this is coming to the game next Monday. Yesterday, I implemented the ghost emoji, which you can select a color and whether or not it's transparent, and you can lay them out in your level. Next Monday's emoji is going to be more complicated. You set an initial direction for the dagger. You set whether it's clockwise or counterclockwise, and you can set you can select slow or fast speed. So let me just put a couple of emojis in. And I'm gonna select a dagger. Maybe let's do one that's slow. And let's test it. And so these go quickly, this one goes slow, they constantly rotate. And the second I let go and shoot my emoji, all of them freeze at the position where they were left off. So it's not like I felt like that made it more precise, so you can it's easier to tell to like kind of strategize and use them effectively. If you know the second you let go, they freeze wherever they are. It's easier to like do that than like predict where it's gonna land when you let go, depending on how much distance there is. So I want it to be easier. I want it to be in the player's favor. So that's why when you let go, they stop. They don't keep spinning. And let's try to do that. Let's try to send that to the top left. Got it. It's not too hard, but it is tricky, and sometimes I do mess up. Quit. So that's how you design with the dagger. And so they only fire right now. They only go 3 spaces. They only clear what's 3 spaces ahead of them. Whereas like the bow and arrows that we had originally, they shoot as far away as possible. But these I wanted to limit because I wanted to be able to use more of them on the screen, because otherwise they're just too overpowered and they're too similar to the bow and arrow. So that's why I decided to make them shorter. 3 is kind of arbitrary, and there's no indicator that they got 3 spaces, so it's on the players to like remember that, unfortunately. Although maybe there's something we could do to fix that in the future. Like we could kind of signal visually how many emojis were going to get destroyed. The problem is that they spin so fast that things would be flashing all over the place. Okay. So we have to make 3 levels for this world. We might switch now that we looked at the world. I think the world's good to go. So early on in the week, by Tuesday, is when I should be looking at the world design, because that one takes the longest sometimes because it's such a long level. And then on the weekends is when I usually do the levels, although we could start maybe doing 1 level a day or something. We have to make the initial level that introduces the mechanic. We have to make the 3rd level, which is a speed level with that dagger, which is going to be tricky. It's like a time-based obstacle within a time-based mode, since everything's coming down. So that could be interesting. And then we have to make a fourth level that uses older emojis in a creative new way. And we do that because we want to keep refreshing the player's memory about what all of the emojis do. And we want to show interesting new combinations of emojis. So with every emoji that we add, which we're adding one a week at this point, that's going to keep exponentially increasing the design space, because every new emoji, because now when we release emoji, there's 10 other emojis that it can kind of play with, and by the time we're on level world 25 and there's like 30 emojis in the game or whatever, then each emoji we create interacts differently with all the other 30 emojis and the different combinations of 3 or 4 of them and stuff. And so there's a lot of design space that we're starting to accumulate, just the core game design space with these new obstacle emojis. But then in the future, we should be increasing the design space with the addition of new modes. So right now we have the normal mode, but we also have a speed mode, which I'll just show you real fast. So these constantly drop, and so it's kind of more skill based. This is a level that I made but I didn't end up including in the game yet, but I think it's a decent level for introducing that. I think it could be made longer. So yeah, so we're gonna be doing things like that. Like right now, we're also developing just the core stuff. Like we're fixing the UI, we're working with the art, like sounds, even analytics, the meta feature, core stuff like that. Once we're done with that, then we can start really exploring the space. We can do new modes. Like I mentioned, the physics mode, I think that would be really cool, but I have a lot of other mode ideas as well. Invest in more revolutionary obstacle designs. I think that we can get really crazy with what we do. Eventually, I want to, something that I know no bubble shooter has done is I want to have emojis on the level that the players can interact with. So like maybe they can select the orientation of something, or they can interact with the board in different ways, or have like little game-like emojis that you interact with and also shoot at. So I want to start developing those kind of emojis. Like just keep expanding the space and keep that. Those are really going to increase the number of kinds of games you can make. And then I also mentioned like some kind of logic system that allows you to like, I would like you to like use text in the levels, or like trigger events, or like hack certain emoji designs and use them in different ways, or create circuitry, or that like allows you to like make like tic-tac-toe in the game, or whatever it is, you know. So yeah, so that's kind of like the far plan kind of for the design space. Like that's kind of like the whole like tunnel right there. But for now, let's work on the UI. We have to do everything in the game, starting from the bottom. So one thing that we should do is when you click on a level, let's design a better UI little pop-up for the author's information. So this is where if a player makes a creator and it gets featured, this is where their social media gets featured. So let's kind of design the UI for it. Basically, I allow them to like, I think I'm going to use their Twitter handle or whatever they decide, I guess. I guess we can just assume it's going to be Twitter for now. We can always change it later. Or maybe it's like, we should also show their emoji avatar, so if they don't even have social media, it will just show the avatar in the center or something. So let's go to this in the code. Where would this be? We open this in the inner content layer. That's where we open the level. Let me search for it. So this is where we open the trending level. Okay, so this is where we create the little pop-up. It's not even a pop-up, it's just a button and a label. So this is level made by, the blue button with the Twitter handle. So let's update this. It should be in a box. Maybe the emoji should appear at the bottom. Maybe we can use the phone emoji, and because we use that for pop-ups often, and we can just tilt it sideways. So let's just see if that works, at least for now. We can always, I have like an idea for better looking pop-ups, but I went with the path of making them all look like phones, kind of, or whatever it is. It's supposed to be a phone. It's like the phone emoji in Twitter. But let's just keep going with that, and then if we want to update all the UI pop-ups, we can do that afterwards. So let's create a sprite. Let's just call it author bg equals new. Took phone up, bottomless B or something. Let's just use this one for now. So first thing we have to do is set its scale, how wide it is, how big it is on the screen. So we're gonna do this dot width times 0.95 is how long it should be. We just have to divide that. Let me put my coding glasses on. Alright. We have to divide that by the width of the image, and that makes it the correct width. We have to position it. So we said it's X, Y, and anchor. And then we add it to the scene. And so we will make this in the center. So let's just see what that background looks like. Oh, Matt, man, I don't know if your eyes are on the screen, but this is the shoots. I'll show it to you later. Whoa. Okay, let me look. There's a phone like that's sideways or something. Resource. Phone A horiz. So let's go to the green is, there's like a green like beer nug or whatever, but it's a green screened out. It's really good. This one particularly, fresh squeezed, I really like. So, oh yeah, it looks familiar. Okay, I figured you might recognize it. Beer AK hops, yeah, that's the word for it. There's this one kind of beer that's made somehow from like weed or whatever, and I really like the taste of it. Actually, I brought it into work all the time. It like tastes really good, and people are like, "Why does this beer taste like that?" Phone A horiz. So I just want to see what this pop-up looks like. Yeah, I kind of want like maybe like more sophisticated looking pop-ups, but we need to do that all together. Like I could see it being like the black background on the outside looks kind of weird. I thought it was cool because it was the phone and it was an emoji, but now that we update things, weird. Let me know if you think of the weed bear. Yeah, I don't remember the name. Yeah. Drinking White Claw, about to end work and play games. Nice. What are you playing? Streak 0. Okay. So this is the one. Actually, I've never had a White Claw. I've never had a seltzer beer before. Phone Horrors Blank. That sounds like the one we need. Gonna try Spellbreak, just downloaded it. Haven't heard of that. Multiplayer actions. Oh, is that like the? This isn't the battle royale, is it? I think I might have seen this. Five days old, 2 million players. Damn. Yeah, it's crazy. It's so cool when these games just become a thing all of a sudden on Twitch or whatever. I think that's pretty cool. I think it's some kind of MoMA. Okay. Oh yeah, I did see this. This is like cinematic, but yeah. Seemed cool. Yeah. Yeah, there's like literally like 5 seconds of gameplay in there. But I do remember like seeing it before. I saw someone playing it on YouTube or something. Bing search is not that good, I realized. Like legitimately, like when you search Google, when you search on Bing, like I see the differences in the search qualities. It's crazy how much better Google is. Seems like a unique kind of action game, like fusing elements from a couple different places. I'm guessing these things have different classes. I really wish like Fortnite had something like when playing Fortnite. I'm like, okay, like that's one thing that would improve games like that is like the ability to like have more unique gameplay experiences. Easy barrier to entry if it's free. Thought I'd give it a try. Totally makes sense. Yeah, I like just analyzing these kind of games though. Like I think you do too, and like just seeing like why they're popular. You know, like I feel like that's pretty informative. How they achieve success on Twitch and stuff. Okay, so we're gonna make this look like some kind of pop-up. Kind of looks like Fortnite from that video. I did not like Fortnite, lol. Yeah, I like I play Fortnite and I like learning from Fortnite. I like learning game design from Fortnite. I like seeing what they do But yeah, like there's so many. Like I used to play like Team Fortress 2. That was kind of the big multiplayer shooter game I played a lot, and like so the reason I play shooter games, like none of them are really like Fortnite's really exploring. Like I like the finding, I like exploring the kind of gameplay like multiple classes kind of brings, like, and it kind of makes the game constantly fresh and like interesting strategically. But it's like it's just like shoot the other people like just with the basic stuff, and it's not really interesting. Like this one seems like this game is trying to like put like an interesting twist on it. I think that's good. Another annoying thing about Fortnite is that I feel like most of the time, like the gameplay, like you're not really incentivized to do the gameplay. Like if you're doing some kind of team gameplay, like oftentimes like no one cares, and like if you do well, if you do try to achieve success, then your wins don't really count towards anything. Like, it's the same as losing. Have you ever played Escape from Tarkov? #1 shooter out there punishing. No. Beta is available. Very punishing. Bing videos, baby. Look at the setup. I can watch a video and fiddle around with this. Okay. One thing we need to do is delete the phone pop-up. It's like a teaser. You get shot in the arm, you most likely have to repair a fraction, stop healing. Awesome. Get shot in the leg, you have to walk slower, keep items, and you loot in raids, so it's pretty rewarding if you're good at it. That is really cool. I really like that. That's cool. That's like they're using the same mechanics that have been done a million times, it sounds like, and just by treating them a little differently with like the damage and stuff, like you're saying, like all of a sudden it's a completely different game. Like, and I could see the gameplay being like much more tense, much more like you have to be much more cautious. That's really cool, and it looks like they're really like embracing that. But I suck at it and get shot out of nowhere and get sent back to the menus and lose your stuff. Got it. Yeah, that's the thing about those games. That's funny. That's cool. I know a lot of people who are like, they like the kind of militaristic games and like playing them like realistically a little bit, like, and so I could see people being really into this, since it's like you're not just running out in the open, you know. Developer said it's not meant to be fun, it's meant to be realistic. Okay, there we go. That's interesting. It's not, so that statement alone on its own too is interesting, because it's not meant to be fun, it's meant to be realistic, but that realistic is kind of its own fun in a way. I mean, unless it isn't fun. Maybe it's not fun for most of the time, but it seems, at least it's engaging, I guess is what it is. Oh man, that is intense. That's cool. So we need to remove the pop-up. And we remove it here. I'd be interested what you think of Spellbreak when you play it. Oh, what's it like? Okay, so we need to make this title level made by at the top. And maybe instead of spelling out their whole Twitter handle and stuff like that, we can just have like a little button, a couple little buttons on the side for their social media or whatever. So let's do that. Level made by. We're gonna first let's position it, and then we'll change the font color. So this dot height. I'm about to sneeze. Let's say this the height times 0.9 or something, and let's give it a background. That quote, it's not meant to be fun, it's meant to be realistic. I think that's such an interesting quote. A BG, oh no, yeah. This should be the background. 255. I'm monitoring the chat across Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. Feel free to let me know if you have any questions about the game. You can play it at playmojipop.com. I'm streaming twice a day right now. I'm streaming in the morning. I do my big game dev session, and then I stream in the afternoon, where sometimes I do game dev more, but maybe I could see myself playing games a little in the future, but mostly like making levels and continuing this game development stuff while we're still early on in development. So this is going to be black, that's white, and let's just offset its positioning a bit. Maybe we should say designer. Designed by It is 3:30. Okay. Oh, I forgot. So let's, instead of this dot height, I meant to. Oops. We gotta do this dot author bg dot y plus this dot author bg dot height times this dot bg author dot scale, or y scale. Okay, let's see if this is right. What's up? There's someone on Twitter of the name Bloodluster. How's it going? I wanted to make sure I'm friendly with that guy, because that name was a little threatening sounding. Rizai TV, hello. I'm working on my game Emoji Pop right now. You can play it at playmojipop.com. On the stream, I stream every day, and I develop the game and design levels for it and play the levels that you guys make at playmojipop.com. So now, why did it all disappear? Author bg.y, because I misspelled it. Fresh. Feel free to ask me questions about the game or anything else, or give me feedback. Okay, so we're still off. So, oh, that's because. Let's make this start at 0, 0. It's kind of messing up other calculations by starting in the middle. So I'm just going to do that really fast. Alright. I actually think we switched the white and the black. We should have to switch them after. Designed by switching the black and the white. Okay, it should be a little bit higher, so it's gonna be a 0.88. And let's get rid of this L. Dylan Woodbury. That's my Twitter handle. Get rid of the button. So we're gonna let's just comment it out for now, I guess. Yeah. This whole thing is annoying. We don't need to remove it. It doesn't exist. Okay. So we got rid of this button. Let's just make sure the title's right, and we're gonna have to next place the emoji of the author. That's defined in like emoji character or something, some file like that. We just have to pass it the which pieces the player is wearing, and that's stored in the database, and then it'll create the emoji that they have in an object. So, alright, so that looks okay for now. Designed by, so we should put their emoji on the side here. Maybe we put like a, so the game doesn't know that the player's names. But I don't think it's. We should put the emoji on the side, and I don't know. I feel like it needs like a name of the player, but we don't have that. We could have them input it, but I could put the name in myself. I could like, because right now I'm just featuring the ones that I like, so I could put their name in myself. For now, let's just add the emoji avatar. That's the bare minimum we need anyway. We can put them. We can put it in the center for now. We can push it to the side when we want to add more stuff later. So let's do that. This dot at this dot pop up avatar equals new, and then like let's use the one in home layer. So here it is. That's us creating the character. Okay, so we have to set its width and height. Its width, its height. It's gonna be limited in the height. So it should be like this dot height times 0.6 or something. 7. 6.5. Okay, so that's the dimensions of the emoji. This is where we put in the definition. It's like an object that contains the different parts the emoji is wearing that the players decided what the players decided their avatar should look like. So let's figure out how we can get that information. So we have a level number that's featured. So here's the user level. I think I might output the user level to see. So we're going to see if I have the avatar information in there, or at least the user ID of whoever made the level. That's all I need to get their avatar emoji. Okay. $389. In the inner content layer. Here it is. So this is everything that we have in the user level. The bubbles, colors, likes, losses, metadata, queue, type pop, wins. Is there a creator? Yes, a creator. So we have a creator ID. So it's user level dot creator. When I load, oh, you know what? I just remembered. I already have the avatar, and I know that because I'm featuring it in the level scroller. I put it somewhere. I had to do this weird thing because I can't just load from the database the avatar stuff right here because it takes time. So the pop-up's created, and then I make the call to get the avatar, and I'm waiting on that. And so I could add it afterwards, but that seems kind of sketchy to keep. I don't know. I should be loading them all at the start, and I do that somewhere in the code. And so I forget where I placed that information. So let's go to our level scroller. Maybe in the me display layer. That's where I used to have the level scroller. Okay, I'm seeing where they like create avatars or whatever. Oh wait. Let me look at the inner content layer. Was it me display layer on the far left? I don't even need to be making this anymore. Weird. Okay, me display layer. Level scroller. So this is where I make the new level scroller. Featured user levels. So that I'll put that line 137 in the me display layer. So yeah, same information. Have the creator. I don't have an avatar definition. Update database avatar. That's something I use to save players' changes. Batman 2 is, he said, Spellbreak tutorial, 9 parts. LOL. Feels good. Feels really well made and satisfying. I'll report back tomorrow for full review. Awesome. Okay, I'm excited about that. 9 parts. So yeah, it looks like I have some complex gameplay. I'm excited to hear about that. Taking off, enjoy your night and that beer, my friend. You too. Thanks, Matt, man. Thanks for all your help today. Enjoy Spellbreak. And PS2 has been a huge help redesigning the UI of the game and everything we're doing here. Yeah, so I know there's somewhere in the code where I schedule a bunch of things like, I'm like, okay, get all the avatars and then like put them somewhere that I need them later. I know I do that somewhere. I thought it would have been the main container layer, but okay, here it is. So look, I go through every featured level. So this is the variable that has all the featured levels in it, the trending levels. For each one, I go to the creator and I get their avatar and I put it in this .avatar cosmetic directory. So there we go. Now we know where it's stored. It's in the main container. So when we open a trending level in the inner content layer, we open a trending. Okay, so that's right here. So this is when we open the trending level, and we need to pass when we create the level. Oh, so here's where we create the avatar. And so it's this dot parent, since main container layer is where we were, and so that's what has this variable. This dot main container, this dot parent dot avatar cosmetic directory. So that has the avatar for that emoji. Let's see if it works. If you're just tuning in, let me know if you have any questions about the game. You can play it at playmojipop.com. Link is above me. Okay, not defined. Oops. D.id. what does ID stand for? So I think that's just the creator ID, I'm guessing. So we have that with user level dot creator. Okay, cannot read property body of undefined 17. Okay, so we're creating it, but it's undefined. It might be this is wrong, so let's just output this. Okay. $531. It says it's whoops, I meant to output the whole thing. It is 3:44 in California. Maybe I'll go to 5 or something. Home. Okay. Interesting. Would it work for the first level? It might. I think I see what's going on. Okay, still doesn't work. So I thought I saved all of the avatar definitions, but it looks like I only have one. There's another that's like undefined. I'm confused. I don't know why I'm using the ID to save those emoji IDs. Let me look at that again. So y.id, why can't I just number them? I think they're gonna be all out of order and I don't know which one's associated to which. Featured user levels. Why can't I just do this? Self dot editor data dot featured user levels I dot creator. Let's see if this allows us to load all of them. I think that might be what's going on. I can give myself hearts and periscope. I think. That's interesting. Okay, so now it's just not loading them now. Is that because they're all using the same ID? Let me just load them 0 through 9. I want to see whatever these contents are. Do 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 do. I'm confused. I feel like in here the eye isn't working. It should be going 0 through 9 or whatever, but I feel like it's not. I don't know why. I could do something to fix it, I think. I think it's the way it's doing this. Okay, so what if I just make it an array? Alright, let's check it out. Do 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 do. Dun 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 dun. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, so it's listing them all. This is the only one that doesn't have an ID. And one of them is null. Okay, that could be a player I deleted or something. So it usually has the body, the eye, the mouth, and the ID. Do 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 do. So I think after so maybe it was working before. So it's good that we at least know how this works now a bit more. Let's see what our original problem was and see if we still have it. So let's just make an object. and this was d.id. var id equals null. Let's set it to none, or I can set to null. If id in d, oops, we set id to d.id. Oh, that equals d. This is d.id. This ID. Actually, let's just do this. Okay. So now the problem's at emoji character layer 17. Actually, let's just refresh. So what we're doing now is we're trying to get it so that we can display the avatar of the user who made this level. I think one of them had like a null or something in it, so I think maybe we can ignore those nulls or fix the problem. We can now highlight where that null is, so let's just check it out. Okay. Cannot read body of undefined. 17. Okay. So we're gonna make this the variable that goes in there. So this is gonna be like trend emoji def var trend emoji def equals that. Actually, we'll set to some defaults, and if user level dot creator in trend emoji def equals this. So if the creator ID exists in the inventory of the avatars, then use it. Otherwise, use this default. So it's going to be, what's a good default? What's the structure for this again? So body, eye, and mouth. Body, eye, mouth, ID, and it's user level dot creator. The body is body yellow will do. That's the code for a yellow. I1 mouth. Oh, and this is like of a type. Okay, so type. I think there's like a mouth one, or let's just do mouth mask because we're not really sure yet. I1. So add this type. Alright, let's try this out. Let's see if we can get the avatar to be displayed. So we're just kind of making some incremental steps in the UI, and tomorrow we will go hard on the meta layer a bit, while still working on the UI a bit too, probably. Cannot read property y of undefined. 544. Okay, so this is good. So we're able to define the pop-up avatar, but now we need to set its y. So we're gonna make, let's just change its y in general. It's gonna be this dot author bg is the name of the pop-up dot y plus then half the height. This dot author bg dot height times this dot author bg dot scale over 2. So that puts us in the middle, and let's subtract by half the avatar's height. Alright, maybe it'll work. Oh. Okay, it says cannot read property height of undefined. This dot author bg isn't that what it's called? This dot author bg. Did I spell it wrong? Oh, this is probably wrong. Pop avatar. Pop-up avatar. Let's try again. Whoa. Well, we got it working. That's good. But now it's humongous. Okay, I'm using this dot height. I need to be using this the pop-up height. So this dot author bg dot height times this dot author bg dot scale times that. So refresh. Okay, it's a little weird now, but that's okay. Why is the mouth all weird? Okay, whatever. At least we got an avatar on the screen. We can kind of help improve that tomorrow. We need to remove all this stuff from the screen when we go back as well. Let's do that. It gets rid of this. So we're going to remove all the elements that we added to the screen when we go back home. So now it should go away from the screen when we go back and forth. Hello to everyone watching me on Twitter. Feel free to play my game at playmojipop.com and let me know if you have any feedback or suggestions or comments on the stream or game design stuff that you're thinking about, gaming stuff. Okay, we can go back and it's still all there. Why? We removed it. Oh, that's if we hit the play button. But we need to do the same stuff if we hit the back button. I'm removing this twice for some reason. Okay. Oh. So yeah, everything we're working on in the game right now is going to be in the game on Monday, including updates to these buttons. Maybe we'll do some stuff with the meta layer, which you can see right here. We're going to simplify it so there's no longer going to be tasks. Instead, you're going to have more obvious things to get the rewards, kind of like in Toon Blast. You're going to be either like beating levels to get rewards, in-game rewards, or you're going to be trying to hit these things that are scattered in the levels that earn you rewards. So those are the two constant rewards that you'll get. Let's see. So we can go back and forth. That's good. Oh, design by is still there. I thought we got rid of that. A level label, is there not a level label B? Maybe it should be level A, B, G. Okay, that's easy enough to fix. Just make sure. Cool. All right, so I'm getting a little tired. It's been almost 2 hours of streaming, and we streamed 3 hours earlier. I'm gonna close for the day. So we got some good progress. We kind of did a little more touching up to the home screen layer. We're working on the design pop-up for the trending levels. We're also working on implementing all of the pop-ups in the the buttons in the mini pop-ups, including the slot machine right here and stuff like that. And we went over the new world that's coming next week, and it looks like it's good. Actually, let's finish by playing the rest of this world that we're designing. Give myself some moves, because the whole world was well designed, I thought, except we didn't play the end, which is the most important part. So let's just make sure that goes smoothly. There's lots of dangerous potential for these daggers to clear stuff they shouldn't at the end and make it impossible at the end or something like that. Okay, so I want to go for this dagger, and I would normally hit this star, but it's empty because we haven't designed it yet, so I'm just going to skip it. Okay, so this is the top. We've opened up one of the daggers, and let's make this one go to the left. So it's up to us to decide which one we want to get rid of at the end. So there's these 4 matches we have to make. Ooh, this is tricky. So I'm getting a lot of pinks and greens here. That's something that I would want to play again. If it happens multiple times where I get stuck up here, then we would want to make some changes. Oh, but that way now I need to make both of them. And green. And we won the world. We get to spin the slot machine. and now we're waiting for the next world. So that's kind of what the end sequence is. Another really important thing I forgot that we need to add to our list is that I'm working on an end of content layer. And when you're at the end of the game, there's going to be randomly generated levels for you to play. And so you're trying to climb as high as possible to get rewards, and we're going to design that whole system later on, but it's going to give you like upgraded to the game, the ability to like upgrade your phone, which holds emojis. You can make it load emojis quicker, or you can make it hold more in the inventory and stuff like that. So that's going to be this whole feature coming up later. There's so much, I have so much stuff half implemented that we're going to be releasing, including all these obstacles every week, including a new mode, including these new features. I'm really excited. This next month is going to be huge for Emoji Pop. We're gonna like keep like pumping up the quality of the game until we're ready to go onto the app stores. So thank you to everyone watching and giving me feedback on the streams. I'm going to be going live again tomorrow morning. I start streaming around like 8:30 to 10 depending, but then I'll stream for a few hours in the early afternoon, and then I stream again a little later. So please follow, please subscribe. Thanks to Seb the Cat Comp for following. I didn't even see that follow. I saw that was an hour ago. I'm not sure if they're still in the chat or not. But yeah, I really appreciate the follow. I really appreciate the Batman PS2. Shout out to you and Kessels for regularly coming into the stream and chatting and giving me feedback. I couldn't make the game without you guys, so thank you to everyone.